Alright, you horrible creatures. This is how to make a hexagonal wad punch for 451 caliber Whitworth rifles. All that it requires is literally less than $10 worth of stuff. There is a 7/16 deep socket. Use a 1/4 inch drive because you'll want one fairly narrow. And then a piece of scrap pipe. In this case, I found it in the bins at the metal supplier. You might have one in the back of your garage. But that's all that went into making this. Now, what you do is, for the 7/16 deep socket, that's what you make the cutter head out of. In this case, here's a cross-section of what a socket looks like. There's the parallel-sided portion, hexagonal portion, where the nut or bolt head slides into. What you'll do is right at the opening, you just sharpen the flats so that each flat is sharp. And then you cut it off just before it narrows down. And then you have a parallel-sided tube that you slide into a piece of pipe that just fits the outside diameter. Grind all the nickel plating off because it'll weld a lot better. Then you just weld along the outside. Grind it down if it's a little bit uneven so it looks nice. And then you've got that put in. Then you drill a bunch of holes with about a 5/8 inch drill bit. Ream out the sides, and then you've got this big oval opening. Now, because it's hammer time, and you will mushroom out the end of this because this pipe is only maybe 1/8 inch steel. What I did was I took the other half after I cut it off and put it in with the cut end up, and I welded around there to combine the two. And as you see, there is still that hole down the center that you can take a rod and use that to push out the pieces that will jam in the cutter. Now, don't make this as long as the full deep socket allows. Just make it enough so that you got some sharpening room and just enough inside to hold it steady so that you can weld to it. Because when you punch stuff, it's going to be jammed in that hole. And if you're punching thin material, you're going to end up with, 10 or 15 of these things stuck in the barrel. You can push them out with that thing, but, it's easier to just not have that many stuck in the end in the first place. But that's the long and short of how you make one of these. Now, the great thing about making something like this, you can buy hexagonal Whitworth wads. They are cheap. You got to order them from someone other than your local supplier, and you don't get a choice of sizes. With this, I've been punching everything from, I take just basic, this was Ramboard, I believe, cardboard, and I just soaked it in paraffin, so you get about a 40/1000 inch wad. This one here is from, these are just 1/8 inch 12 gauge nitro cards. And check this out. How nice this is. This comes in at like 451.5, maybe 452. So it will just slide tight down the barrel. Whoops. And then I also use 12 gauge fiber wads, the thick ones, and I'll punch them out of that and then soak it in paraffin wax mixed with a little bit of vegetable shortening to soften it, and you end up with a wax impregnated plug. So all of those with this punch just pop out beautifully, and for less than $10 you will have Whitworth wads for the rest of your life. And there you have it. Have a good day, horrible creatures.